Hey there hunters, Lord here, back with another Monster Hunter Wild set video. I'm going to be trying to do one set video a day for each of the 14 weapon types here in Monster Hunter Wilds. We've already covered quite a few, so if you haven't seen those yet and Gunlance isn't your weapon, you should definitely go back and check some of those out. But like the title and the thumbnail have led you to believe, today's video will be covering Gunlance. Before we get into things today, I do want to give you guys a small spoiler warning. After my intro plays, all of the armor, weapons, decorations, and hunt footage will be from things in high rank, specifically past high rank 40. So if you're not yet to that point, or if you're just trying to avoid spoilers till you've had a chance to check everything out for yourself, do consider saving this video to watch later when you are ready to build endgame sets. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump straight into it. So for today's Gunlance video, I've prepared sets for normal shelling type Gunlance. I've not yet had a chance to experiment with long or wide shelling. If you're looking for long or wide shelling builds, I'm sure Fightin' Cowboy will have some videos up on that on his channel. I'm sure he either has them up or will have them up soon. So again, if you're looking for long or wide shelling, definitely go give him a look. Now with that being said, I have two endgame sets for you guys today. The first is going to be a more comfort style set built around health steal, but with still pretty solid damage. And the second set is going to be one of our higher damaging options, but I'll cover that when we get to it. So starting off with our comfort set, we are going to be rocking the Chemitrice Gunlance. Overall, I do believe this is the best normal Gunlance as it has the slightly strong shelling type. The difference between normal and slightly strong is 20% more damage on your shelling attacks. So even though this has slightly lower overall attack value than the second Gunlance I'm going to show you guys, it actually does more shelling damage, and normal really spends a lot of time doing those full burst combos, so most of your damage is going to come from your shells. So overall, this is best in class. For our second weapon, we have an Ardian Gunlance. Now, in order to get normal Gunlance, you do not want to match any of your relics for element or status. I believe you can match 2 fire or 2 ice, but really I didn't feel there was a point in adding a minuscule amount of fire or ice damage. And back when I made this one, I don't even think I had any matching parts. So while it does have a little higher raw and a little bit more slot efficiency, because of its only normal shelling power, it actually ends up dealing less overall shelling damage, as you can see in the background footage now. So as far as the armor goes, we were wearing the Guardian Ebony Helm and Arms Beta, the Guardian Arcveld Chest and Waist Beta, the Ray Dow Legs Beta, and the Chain Charm 2. You are going to have some sort of magazine jewel. Load shells gives us 1 extra shell, taking us from 6 up to 7, which means that on our full burst combos, it is nearly a 17% damage increase, so you just can't ignore this one. Since the Chemitrice Gunlance comes with 3 levels of guard built in, I went for a magazine handicraft jewel, and then in the 2 and 1 slots, you're going to want to slot in artillery. At level 3, artillery gives us about a 26% increase in our shelling damage. Again, this is going to be most of our damage here on normal shelling Gunlance, so this is a huge damage boost, making it and load shells our top 2 skills for normal Gunlance. As far as the Ardian weapon goes, I went a little differently here with a magazine Ironwall jewel, then a Guardian handicraft jewel for that 15% extra damage for offensive guard. Then, of course, Artillery 3. As you can see, Magazine and Artillery are in both. You can't really skip these when it comes to any Gunlance. They're a must-have. For the decorations, in all our level 2 slots, we're going to be dropping in Jumping Jewels. Now, these can be switched out for something you might like better, for example, Part Breaker. We're then going to need 2 Flare Jewels in our level 3 slots, and then the level 1 decorations are totally up to you. I tend to run Divine Blessing in all of my endgame sets as it just helps you take less damage over time, which is pretty nice, and then Shockproof is for multiplayer. So all in all, for our skills, we have Artillery 3, again for that 26% increase to our shelling damage. The Chemitrice Gunlance comes with Guard level 3, which is just a nice bonus to have. We then have Load Shells to take us from 6 to 7 shots in our Gunlance. And then Handicraft 1 was just on my combination jewel, but it gives us an extra 10 units of blue sharpness. For our armor skills, we have Burst at level 5 for a plus 18 to our raw attack, and since we're coupling this with 2 pieces of Ebony Adogaron armor, this actually becomes plus 21 raw attack. This is a near 10% increase in damage overall, and since it only takes 5 hits to activate burst, anytime you're running your full burst combos with normal Gunlance, you're going to have this skill up. Burst level 5 also gives us a bonus 140 element. It's not super useful, but it's just nice to have, but we're mostly going to be using this for the extra 21 raw damage. Flare level 5 allows us to create wounds much more easily. Divine Blessing 3 and Evade Extender 3 are again both my choices, and pretty much everything else comes with the armor. Here's a look at the set when we have the Ardian Gunlance equipped. Again, it's pretty much identical. We just drop down to only 1 level of guard, but gain 3 levels of offensive guard in the weapon. Now, as far as the set bonus skills go, we already talked about Ebony Adogaron's power with Burst Boost 1. Basically, anytime Burst is active, this gives us plus 3 additional damage, again, taking us from plus 18 attack to plus 21 attack. And with the Chemistry's Gunlance sitting at 220 raw, this is just under a 10% flat damage increase, which is just very good overall. We then have Guardian Arkveld's Vitality at level 2 for Decimator 1. This gives us some health back when we destroy wounds, meaning you'll just have to heal way less often with your potions and mega potions. It's a super nice skill to have if you do want to see some other sets centered around the Decimator skill. I have a video out on that already. I'll be sure to leave a link in the top right now. Now, just so you guys can have a quick damage comparison between this set and our next raw DPS set, here is a full burst combo from start to finish with the Wyvern Fire, and it deals a total of 2150 damage to the training dummy. So with the comfy set out of the way, let's go ahead and get into our higher raw damaging set. Overall, this set hits a little bit harder. I'll go ahead for the comparison and show you this set doing the same exact combo on the training dummy. And as you can see, we do a little over 2500 damage. This is about an 18.7% damage increase over the Flare set. However, it is reliant on a couple of things to go your way, but we'll talk about that when we get to these skills. Starting off with the weapons, they remain exactly the same. The decorations are exactly the same. We're also using the same head and arms, the Ebony Adogaron beta pieces, but then we're going with the Belango Mail and Coil beta, and we again see the Ray Greaves beta and the Chain Charm too. For decorations in our 3 level 3 slots, we're going to be putting in Counter Jewel 2s, and then in the level 3 slot of the legs, we will put a Challenger Jewel 3 to max out Agitator. And then of course, like I said before, the level 1 decorations are always up to you. So once we have this fully built out, we have the exact same weapon skills as before, but then we also have Agitator at level 5 for a bonus 20 raw attack when the monster is enraged. Again, Burst level 5 with 2 pieces of Ebony Adogaron for another 21 raw attack, and then Counter Strike 3. Now this is a returning skill that we did see in Rise. It didn't have much use there, but it's actually pretty good here since Gunlance really just wants to stack raw attack. When we get hit and get sent flying, so on the training dummy there are 3 options, anything hitting at the sent flying or greater will activate Counter-Strike, we gain plus 25 raw attack for 45 seconds. So basically, if you don't play clean, miss a guard here or there, you get hit by a pretty hard attack, you'll actually get 25 raw attack. So Counter-Strike coupled with the 21 from Burst and the 20 from Agitator will net us a grand total of 66 extra raw attack when the monster is enraged. We've hit it more than 5 times in a row, and we've got hit and sent flying within the last 45 seconds. With the Chemistry's Gunlance having a base 220 raw, this additional 66 raw is a 30% attack bonus. This is pretty insane and allows you to hit for some pretty juicy numbers. I'll try to show some of the Gravios footage in the background up close. I was hitting nearly 180 per tick on Wyvern's Fire with normal shelling. Now this set is definitely not the most powerful. We have tested quite a few different setups, and it seems that going for Burst 5, Resentment 5, and Counter-Strike is more damage because Resentment gives you plus 25 attack whenever you have red health. However, that's only 5 more than Agitator. And again, it's requiring you to be in red health a lot, and since your health does just recover over time, it doesn't have as good of an uptime or as consistent of an uptime as Agitator, which is why I didn't opt to throw it into this set. Now you might think, hey, we're going to be getting hit to activate Counter-Strike anyway, why wouldn't we just run Resentment? And the issue is, while Counter-Strike lasts for 45 seconds, depending on the hit you take, your red health gauge will recover much quicker than that. And if your health gets too low from taking hits in order to activate Counter-Strike, you're going to be healing anyway and getting rid of that red HP. So I just didn't feel like it was worth it overall. An Agitator is pretty free, a monster's gonna get enraged at least once a hunt, so you might as well have it. All in all, this set is definitely right up there at the top as far as damage goes. Again, even if you did go with Resentment, you'd only get 5 more raw than this set, which is just kinda negligible once we're stacking this all up at this point. If my math is right, that extra 5 raw taking us from 286 to 291 with everything active is only a 1.7% increase in damage. In a hunt, it's just not worth it to have to forego healing in order to keep that red health gauge in order to get that less than 2% attack increase. So yeah, that's it. Those are the 2 endgame normal gun lance sets that I have for you guys today. If you did enjoy, be sure to drop a like down below. If you're new to my channel, new to Monster Hunter, or if you liked what you saw today and you're interested in seeing more, again, we're going to be covering all 14 weapons in the weeks following Monster Hunter Wild's release. So if Gunlance isn't your jam or you play multiple weapons, you definitely want to be subscribed so you don't miss out on the rest of this series. On top of the sets, I have all sorts of guides, tutorials, and even more information that you didn't even know that you needed to know about Monster Hunter Wilds, and being subscribed is the best way to never miss an upload. With all that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I wish you all a good day and happy hunting.